Hello everyone. Till now you have learned what are sets and what are the different ways in which you can represent a set and what are the different types of sets. In this session we are going to learn further about sets and other concepts. Firstly, I want to give a small clarification regarding the difference between a subset and a proper subset. There is a much higher probability that the students will get confused regarding a subset and a proper subset. We will go depth into a subset and proper subset now. See, if you see the definition of the subset, if A and B are two sets and every element of set A is also an element of set B, then A is called as a subset of B and we write it as A subset B. See, this is the symbolic notation in which you can say like this is the symbolic notation of denoting a subset. Okay. So, I will show you an example regarding this now. See, this is the example. See, over here A is equal to 1, 3, 5 and B is equal to 1, 5. Then in that case, if you observe, A contains all the elements which are present in B. So, in that case, B is called as the subset of A. Okay. B is called as the subset of A because A contains all the elements which are present in B. Okay, this is one of the example of subset. Similarly, if you take a college as a set, then all the students who belong to the college are called as the subset. If college is an institution, then if you take a room of the college, then it is called as the subset of that institution. Okay, these are the general properties of a subset. Now let us look into the further properties of the subset. See, the first property states that every set every set is a subset of itself. Like if you see, like if an example is given like, if an example is given like A equal to 135 and B equal to also 135, A and B contains the same elements. So, according to the first property, A is a subset of B and vice versa, which is B is also a subset of A. Okay, got it? Coming to the second point, empty set is a subset of every set. See, if you imagine, now if you imagine this room as a set, then air is also present in this room. But can you see that air? But you can't say, na, like if I am unable to see the air, then it is not present in the room, but actually it is present in the room. So, similarly, though an empty set contains any element or not, it is a set, it is a subset of every set. Okay? This is the second property, and an empty set, if you recollect, it is denoted by the digit 5 and it does not contain any elements. If see, this is an empty set, it does not contain any elements inside a set. Okay? Then I already said here a symbol subset. See, this is the symbolic notation of denoting a subset. A symbol subset is used to denote as is a subset of or is contained in. Okay, this is the symbolic notation and this is the statement notation of a subset. And as I already said, if this is given symbolic character, then this means that A is a subset or A is contained in B. Okay, got it? Now coming to the last property, which is very important when coming to competitive examinations, because this is a very important formula which is asked in every examination mostly. This is like a base formula. Okay, if a set S which contains n elements has 2 power n elements. This is printed wrong over here. If a set contains n elements, then it contains 2 power n subsets. See, suppose here A contains 3 elements. So, the total number of subset of this can be said as 2 power 3, that is equal to 8. So, this set A which containing 3 elements has a total of 8 subsets. So, what are these 8 subsets? We have already seen what are these 8 and how these 8 will be obtained in the power set concept. Once I will try to recollect. Okay, what is a power set? Power set is the set which contains all these subsets. See over here, this A contains 8 subsets as according to this formula. So, what are these 8 subsets? Can be A, it can be 1 or 3 or 5 or 1 3 or 3 5 or 1 5 or 1 3 5, and null character also. Including this null character, it contains of 8 subsets. So these 8 subsets together are called as the power set. Okay, this is the subset and the power set brief overview. Now let us see the next one, which is a proper subset. See, when coming to the definition, a proper subset is if a subset, if A is a subset of B, but A is not equal to B. That means if A contains, see, if you see this example, now here A contains the elements 1 3 4. One second guys. Here A contains elements 1 2 3 and B contains elements 1 2 3 4. That means A contains at least one element. What is that one element? 4. A contains at least one element, which is 4, that is not present in A. So in that case, A is called as the proper subset of B. This is very much similar to subset, right? But what is the difference? It is the perspective in which you see an item. See, now you can see like as B contains all the elements of A, then A is called as the subset of B. But if you see another perspective, like every view will be having two perspectives, right? If you see a person, you can judge him as a good human being or a bad human being. That depends upon the perspective in which you view that person, right? So now like A equal to 1 2 3 and B equal to 1 2 3 4. If you view from the perspective of the subset, you can say like, okay, A is, all the elements of A are contained in B, so A is a subset. But if you view from other perspective, like there is one element of B which is not present in A, then in that case A is called as the proper subset of A. This is the denotion of proper subset. In the case of a subset, there is a probability like A can be equal to B. But in the case of a proper subset, there is no probability like A equal to B. There is a chance like A cannot be equal to B. This is the condition of the proper subset. The two sets A and B cannot be equal to each other in the case of the proper subset. Okay. See, this is the symbolic notation of that. Here it says like this is the equality symbol, and in the case of the proper subset, this equality symbol is not obeyed. So only it should be a subset, but an equality condition doesn't exist in the case of the proper subset. Okay. We'll understand this further. Just look at some of the examples over here. See, a set, let us suppose this is one set and this is another set. This set contains 2 3 5 7, and this 2 3 5 7 is a subset of 2 3 5 7. Yes, the probability is there, because in the case of the subset, the two sets can be equal to each other. So this rule is correct. This example is correct. When coming to the second example, a set contains 2 3 5 7 is not a proper subset of 2 3 5 7, because in the property of proper subset, this is the only condition which is need to be allowed. That means the two sets cannot be equal to each other at any cost. Okay. When coming to the third one, the set 2 3 5 is a proper subset of 2 3 5 7. Yes, it is true, because this set contains one element, that is 7, which is not present in this set. Okay. Now coming to the other example, see, a set 2 3 5 is also subset of 2 3 5 7, because this contains all the elements which are present in this. 2 3 5 is present in 2 3 5 7. So this is the another example. See, if you look at this, the set 2 3 6 is not a subset nor a proper subset of 2 3 5 7, because over here 6 is the element which is not present in this set. So as 6 is not present in this, and we are representing this whole 2 3 6 as a set, then in that case this is not a proper subset nor a subset of this case. Instead of this 2 3 6, if I give like 2 3 or if I give like 2 3 or only 2 or only 3, okay, in that case these can be the proper subset or subset, these three these three can be the proper subset or the subset of this set. But as I have given this as a whole, in that case, this cannot be a proper subset or a subset of this set. Okay, these are the differences of the subset and proper subset. And one more example I can say, like, see, if you consider this set as I already said in our previous session, what is a superset? See, now this 2, 3, 5, 7 is there. It contains all the elements of this set. Then in that case, this set is called as the superset. Let us suppose this is set A and this is set B. As set B contains all the elements of set A, then in that case, set B is called as the superset of set A. Okay, this is the symbolic notation. This is not there actually. This is the symbolic notation of the superset. Okay, okay guys, I hope till now it is clear. Now let us go to the next very important topic of the entire discrete mathematical structures is Venn diagrams. Okay, I will show you the author of the Venn diagrams. Venn diagrams were introduced in 1880 by John Venn in order to represent propositions by diagrams. Propositions, what are these propositions? Propositions are the statements which can be either true or false and which can be represented in the statement form. And he is the John Venn who actually invented these Venn diagrams. These Venn diagrams have made the students or the mathematicians' life very easier by representing everything in a diagrammatic fashion. See, if you observe in the real life scenario, if you read anything, you can't remember that to that wider extent than if you see. That's why if you go and watch a movie, you can remember it in a very large extent than by reading about the movie. That's why the pictures impact that much the human brain. That's why there's a saying like, pictures speak louder than words. So, if you see a picture, then you remember it, or you can analyze through that picture in a more sophisticated and very good way. Okay, and okay, I am saying pictures, okay, that's fine. Then what are these pictures? How are these Venn diagrams drawn? So, a Venn diagram is a drawing in which there is a rectangle, this entire rectangle, this entire rectangle denotes a universal set. What is a universe? We are staying in the universe. We all are the subset of the universe. Universal set is nothing but which contains all the elements whichever we are talking about. Okay. So, if you, okay, universal set, what is universal set? It contains all the elements which are present all around. So, a universal set in Venn diagram is represented by the form of a rectangle. So, this rectangle contains all the elements, subsets, sets, supersets, whatever which you are going to encounter in any problem, all are present inside the universal set only. And the circles which you are seeing over here are represented as sets. These circles are used to represent the set. Okay, and this is the set A and this is the set B. Okay, this is the basic representation of the Venn diagram. We will be seeing how these Venn diagrams can be used in order to solve the problems. See, we have already learned what are the different types of set operations in the previous session. There are different types of set operations like union, intersection, complement, difference are there. So, let us see how these can be represented in the form of a Venn diagram. Firstly, this Venn diagram which you are seeing over here, are represented for disjoint sets. Are there any common points between these set A and set B? Are we able to see any connection between these two? What is the meaning of disjoint sets? Disjoint sets is nothing but which doesn't contain any common elements between those two. If you see the diagram of these two, are you able to see any connection between these two? No, right? So, these sets are called as the disjoint sets, and this is the Venn diagram which is used to represent the disjoint sets. Okay. When coming to the second one, see over here, this is represented for A. This is represented for A minus B. This is the difference set operations which I have already said. Difference means is nothing like this. If you perform this operation, then you should get the elements which are present only in A but not in B. If you see this diagram, see this is the set A and this is the set B, and I have shaded only the part of A. You will be getting a doubt like, madam, why haven't you shaded this area? Because this area, whatever elements which are present in that area, na, they are already present, they are also present in set B. But according to the basic definition of difference between two sets, then it should contain the elements which belong only to the former set, that is only to the first set. If it is A minus B, then it should be shaded only in this way, but it should not cover any of the elements of set B. Okay. Next, coming to the other one, see, this is called as the A complement. A complement, as I already said, A complement, as I already said, is represented to the in this way. This means A complement. What is A complement? If you take a big universal set and if you take another set A which is present in that universal set, then in that case, if you do A complement, then it contains all the elements which are present in this universal set except the elements which are present in A. That means it doesn't include the elements which are present in A. The diagram represents the same one, right? Because the green color is shaded outside the A and it is not shaded any part inside A. So, A complement represents all the elements outside the A. Okay? And the next operation is A intersection B. What is intersection? Intersection is nothing but common elements. See, if you see these two diagrams, two sets, set A, and set B. These are the two sets which you are seeing over here, and the shading part is only in the common area. This is the common area of set A and C and set B. So, if you represent a diagram in this way and if you are asked to show me the intersection, then you need to shade this area and find the common elements which are present in that area. Okay, this is the intersection property. Next comes the union. What is a union? Union means everything. We need to include each and every operation. Like this is set A and this is the set B. If you want to find A union B, then you need to shade all the elements which are present inside A, in the common of inside A and B, only A and B and only B. So, this is the entire representation of A union B. Okay, I have said all these diagram well and good. Let us see, suppose I am given the elements. I will show how these Venn diagrams can be implemented if you are given some set of elements. Okay. And before going to that further, these are the various types of set problems which you will be encountering. After that, I will show some of the problems which are related to the Venn diagrams. See, as I have already said what is a cardinality means. Cardinality is nothing but the number of elements present in that particular set, and as I already said, cardinality is denoted by n of A. That this means this entire operations means that the number of elements that are present in A, like if A contains 1, 3, 5, that means if you are asked to find the cardinality, then it will be like 1, 3, 5. So, the number of elements which are present are 3. Okay, just remember this, because on this property only the entire formulas will be dependent. See, the first formula is n of A union B is equal to n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. That means, according to this formula, we are asked to find the number of elements which are present in the union of A and B. That means, firstly you need to find the number of elements which are present in n of A, next the number of elements which are present in n of B, nextly the number of elements which are present in n of A intersection B. If you get to know all these three elements, if you get to know all these three numbers, then from these three and by applying these operations, okay. Suppose in the next example, if you are given A intersection B equal to 5, that means you don't have any common elements between A and B. Then the formula which is represented over here will be written as n of A union B is equal to n of A plus n of B. and this whatever this one will be there, here it will not come, because already we know that n of a intersection a of a intersection b equal to null. That means there are no elements which are present between n of a intersection b. Okay, coming to the next one, next formula, which is n of a minus b plus n of a intersection b is equal to n of a. That means the number of elements which are present only in a. This a in a minus b represent, what does it represent? It represent only the elements which are present in a but not in b. So, the number of elements present in n of a minus b intersection the common elements which are plus the common elements which are present in a and b, which will be equal to the number of elements present in a. You take this as an assignment. I will give you this set. Suppose a equal to 1, 3, 5 and b equal to 2, 3, 5. These are the two sets which I will be giving to you. So, perform all these operations among these two sets a and b, among these two sets a and b, and you will be deriving the result which are mentioned over here. So, just take it for a practice purpose and solve it. Okay. Similarly, apply those two sets, similarly apply the same sets a equal to 1, 3, 5 and b equal to 2, 3, 4 on this formula also. Then you will be deriving the exactly same elements which are present in b. Then coming to the next one, similarly this operation also, if you perform on the two sets a and b, you will be deriving n of a intersection b. I will just elaborate this one. See here, the number of elements present only in a plus the number of elements present in the common part of a and b plus the number of elements present in a. If you add all these things, then you will be getting n of a union b. These two formulas are pretty similar, but the representation of these is varied. See, this is one very important one. In the competitive exam, mostly you will be asked the questions which are surrounding around this formula only. This represents like this, this entire formula represents n of a minus n of a intersection b. So, this n of a, what is this? A intersection b contains elements present in a and the elements present in e, but b. So, if you try to subtract the common elements from a, then you will be getting the elements which are present only in b, irrespective only in a, irrespective of b. Okay. So, suppose all these things you are performed only on two sets. For suppose you are given one more set, which is a, b, c. So, the formula, if you want to find the number of elements which are present in the union operation of a, b, c, then you need to use the formula mentioned over here. The elements, the things which are mentioned over in this formula are the number of elements present in a, the number of elements present in a followed by n of b, number of elements present in b, then number present in c, then the total number of common elements between a and b, total number of common elements between b and c, then the total number of common elements between c and a, followed by the total number of common elements which are present in a intersection b, a intersection b intersection c. So, you have learned the Venn diagrams now up till now. So, suppose if you want to represent this n of a intersection b intersection c in the form of Venn diagram, then you will be writing like, if this is the set A and this is the set B and this is the set C. So, this area, whatever area which I am shading right now, this represent A of A intersection B intersection C. Okay, and this area which I am shading now represents A intersection B intersection and A intersection and B intersection. If this is A, this is B and this is C, this area represent A intersection B. Next, this area represent A intersection C. See this area, whatever area which is common over here, this represent A intersection C. And this area, if you see over here, this represent B intersection C. So the common property of all these things, represent A intersection B intersection C. Okay, and this elements, the elements present over here represent only the elements of A, and the elements present in this set represent only the elements of B, and the elements present in this set represent only the elements of C. I think it is clear till now. So we'll look out into the problems. Just take it as the practice problems. See, suppose I am given a universal set U is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and A equal to 2, 3, and I have given a condition stating that A is a subset of the universal set, and we need to draw in the form of a Venn diagram. As we already know, the universal set is represented in the form of a rectangle. See, this is a rectangle which is used to represent the universal set, and this universal set contains set A. What are the elements which are present in A? 2, 3, and this is the set A. So the entire universal state contains 1, 4. So this is the set U. If you see this Venn diagram, and if someone asked you what is this universal set contains, you can easily say like, okay, it contains 1, 4, 2, 3. As you already know, for a set the order of elements doesn't matter. So if you write 1, 4, 2, 3, then this also compromises to the same universal set which is mentioned over here. Okay, this is the first example of Venn diagram. See, this is the second representation. Over here you are given two sets. One is set A containing elements 3, 5 and set B containing elements 1, 3, 5, and you are given a condition stating given U is a universal set and A and B are two sets such that A is a subset of B and B is the subset of U. We will be coming from the universal set. See, this is the universal set which is given for us. So this contains the whole number of elements, and this universal set contains, let us suppose this is B, and this B contains what? A. So now let us come from the inside part. So this A contains what? 3, 5, and what are these elements which are present in B? 1, 3, 5. So already 3 and 5 are present in B, so we can write only 1 over here, and this entire B is present in the universal set U. What are the elements which are present in U? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So already 1, 3, 5 are present. So the entire the another elements will be 7, 9. Okay, I think it is clear with the example. So this is the assignment which will be you need to be solved. See, you need to draw the Venn diagrams of all these sets. You can take the elements of your wish. There is no compulsory. You can take any number of elements. For suppose you take 3 elements. You take 3 elements for A and 3 elements for B and 3 elements for C, and try to draw the Venn diagrams for all these 5 operations. Okay, this is the assignment for you. And let us look at one more problem. See, you are given A equal to 1, 2, 3 and B equal to 3, 4, and we are asked to find n of A union B and n of A intersection B. That means the number of elements present in A union B and number of elements present in n of A intersection B. So as I already said, according to the set formula through which you can derive the number of elements will be this. This is the set formula through which you can derive the number of elements. Now we are going to suppose now we are going to find n of A union B. If you look at the things which are given for us, the number of elements present in A will be 3. So n of A will be 3 and n of B will be, n of B is equal to 2, and if you take the n of A intersection B, that means the common elements. What are the common elements between A and B? 3. 3 is the only common element between A and B. So n of A intersection B is equal to 1. So we know all the values. We know n of A, n of B and n of A intersection B. So as we know all the values, and if we apply these values in this formula, we will be getting 3 plus n of A equal to 3 and n of B equal to 2 and n of A intersection B will be 1. So it will be 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. It is the number of elements which are present in n of A union B. Okay. Now I have done in the problematic way, right? Take this as take one assignment of your own and solve this thing using Venn diagrams. Okay. So this is the second formula. In this I have given only two sets, A and B. Suppose I am given 3 sets, A of containing A equal to 1, 2, 3, B equal to 4, 5 and C equal to 6, 7, 8. And I already mentioned what will be the formula for n of A union B union C. See, this is the formula through which you can derive the number of elements present in n of A union B union C. Okay. See now, n of A, see this is n of A. What is the number of elements present in A? 3. This is n of B. What are the number of elements present in B? 2. Then n of C will be 3. N of A intersection B will be how much? The common elements between this and this null. So this will be 0. And what is the n of B intersection C? B intersection C is also null. So this value also will be 0. And what is the number of elements present between C intersection A? See, this is A and this is C, and this also will be 0. So number of elements present in the common, how many are there? Are there any common elements between A and B, C? There are no common elements, right? So this one also will be 0. So we need to add only the number of elements present in A, B, C. So it will be 3 plus 2 plus 3, that is equal to 8. So the number of elements present in n of A union B union C will be 8. Okay. This is the problematic way. Derive on your own how you can do this through Venn diagrams. And this is the last example of this type. See, in a survey of university students, in a survey of university students, 64 had taken mathematics course. Now you all have joined BTech, right? So you have opted some course and joined in this class, right? So suppose you have opted for 64 students have taken the mathematics course, 94 had taken the chemistry course and 26 had taken mathematics and chemistry course. And so we are supposed to find there are how many students they are in total. Let us represent in the Venn diagram this problem in the form of the Venn diagram. See, this is the entire universal set. We have got to know m value is equal to 64, that is mathematics course which is equal to 64, and chemistry course is equal to 94, that is the number of element, number, this means number, okay, 94, and 26 had taken mathematics and chemistry, that means n of m intersection C is equal to what, how much, 26, okay. Now so here, now we know the intersection. What is the intersection value? 26. And we know n of m. What is n of m? This total is 64. So this 64 minus 26 is equal to how much? This will give the value of only mathematics course. And next 94 minus 26. 94 is the total of this one. 94 minus 26 will be giving you m intersection C. So if you do the union operation, that what is the union operation? This entire thing is the union operation. So if you get the value of this one and value of this one, then you will be getting the union operation. Derive it and you will be getting the result. Okay, I have done the 90%, just derive and get the remaining 10%. And I have shown that through Venn diagrams, right, the similar thing you can repeat using this formula also. Okay. This is the assignment, similar type of question I have set for two courses. This assignment contains 3 courses, and I have also given you the hint, and the hint related thing also I have said through set formulas. Just remember that set formulas what I said and try to understand the hint which is mentioned over here, and this hint, through this hint you try to find the problem solution for this problem. Okay. Summary. See, till now the topics which I covered in this session are what are the difference between a subset and the proper subset. I hope you got it. Next, what is the introduction of Venn diagram? I have mentioned you various types of set operations, how they can be represented in the form of Venn diagrams, and I have discussed some certain practice problems. So, whatever assignment problems I had given for you, just note it down and practice it as early as possible. Okay, thank you.